Steelers.
Are the Chiefs a dynasty?
Somebody,
not yet.
Somebody
Not
define dynasty for me.
Right.
I feel like if you define a dynasty, I don't know why, but I feel like the bar is at three championships.
Three. If they'd have won last year, it'd have been a dynasty.
Yeah. I don't know why it's like that, because I was listening to something else, and they were trying to consider the Bills from the 90s a dynasty who didn't win any championships but went to 4 straight Super Bowls. So that's 4 straight AFC championship wins, but just no Super Bowl wins. So like
I don't
it's hard.
They're the dynasty. I think their success, granted they've had good pieces, but their success is Mahomes. Mahomes is more like not a dynasty. He's
the next big he's
gonna be a GOAT. He is. He's good.
She said the whole team cannot call themselves a dynasty. Darn.
Yeah, I mean it's true because
it's not even a sorry.
I think people are just like GOAT. I think people are throwing the word dynasty around way more than they have in the past.
I agree.
Like there can't be a bunch of dynasties. Like
there can be multiple dynasties that exist at the same time.
I mean, yeah, there can be, yes, but I think dynasty should be such a top tier term that it shouldn't be that many people, or that many teams. Like the Patriots are definitely one. I guess you would give.
But all right, so it's crazy.
Yankees, that is a dynasty.
All right, the Yankees, they're the dynasty, but at the same time, would you consider that 2009 championship a part of the dynasty when it was like 10 years apart?
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was about
to say.
No,
but I mean, all time. Yankees, they have 27 rings. They've been around a long time.
But is that more of a powerhouse? And that's what I say. Maybe the word we're looking for is powerhouse.
Yeah, I think
not dynasty.
I think a dynasty is more of a span of a year.
Yankees are so cheap. So well known. Stop.
Like Chiefs are a powerhouse right now. They ain't a dynasty, but they're a powerhouse.
Right? Would you consider the Eagles with like Andy Reid and McNabb them?
No,
they didn't win the Super Bowl.
They won the Steelers. They are the Steelers are one. That's all I got to say.
There are not very many dynasty teams in my opinion.
They're not.
Just like GOAT, there cannot be a million GOATs. It's the greatest of all time. How are you going to have 50
And like
greatest?
we said, they've been throwing that around too loosely too.
Yeah, you can't have 50
exactly why
greatest.
Kobe is not in the GOAT dynasty.
So
man,
can all right, hold on.
We're not
going there. We're not going there.
Don't do it.
So you said the Steelers were not or were a dynasty?
No, they weren't. Back in the 2000 like 10s, no, they weren't. They're back in the 70s, like years ago.
I'm talking about the 10s when they won their championships with Ben Roethlisberger.
No, that wasn't.
But they went to like 2 and 3 years. They just lost the other one, right?
Yeah, they weren't one. Even those 3 years, they weren't a dynasty. They were what the Chiefs are now. They're a power.
I think a dynasty. I think the dynasty got to be like.
You got to have 3.
Yeah, 3. You got to have 3. You have to.
I'm talking about in terms of years. I think it got to be dominant, consecutive, maybe like 8 years.
Are the Warriors a dynasty?
I don't know about 8. I was going to say 5. I was saying 5. Yeah, Warriors are a dynasty. I was going to say 5 years. You need.
But a dynasty is like if it's 5 years, you got to win like 4.
3. 3
out of 5 is a dynasty. I would say
50%. Over 50%.
Wait, so what? How did the Warriors? 50. What did the Warriors do?
The Warriors
dynasty.
The Warriors won 4 in like 9 years. Is that a dynasty?
It's a dynasty.
They won 4 in not 9 years. It was 4 in 20. Well, you're including this year.
Yeah.
Or last year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't include last year. If we're talking about dynasty, I would include where.
But why not? They got the same pieces though.
Because
I would include the year Katie left.
There was gap years. You can't have gap years in a dynasty.
So
you got to keep being good.
It was like bad.
They didn't have KD with the first championship though.
But it was consecutive.
And they were still good. They're still good. Like, because you remember when KD went to the Warriors, like, oh my gosh, like, no, that's not.
It was after they won 72.
Yeah. So the Warriors were that good. Like, in order to be a dynasty, you have to be a very, very good team. You can't have any gap years. There can't be any kinks in your chain or nothing. And you've got to be winning. To me, over 50.
What do you mean, no gap years?
Like,
no
it can't.
Kinks in the chain.
Exactly. You can't be can't go for, I say, football. You can't go 16, 17 and 0, 16 and 1, 15 and 1, and then go 5 and 12. No, you can't do that. No, you got to be constantly.
So you can't have a bad year. One.
No, you can't have a bad year.
Hold on now. So
name one known dynasty that had a bad year. Name one. None of them did.
No, you named the dynasty, and I can tell you.
Steelers in the 70s. Let's say that.
Well, I don't know. I didn't.
And then we had.
I don't know about their records or anything. I ain't gonna lie.
And I take back my statement about I think for football, I think for me it's a span of like 8 years. I think basketball can be shorter because I will consider.
So were the Spurs a dynasty?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I
but they weren't winning them like that.
But they were.
Theirs was over a long time.
But they were always in the conversation though. They didn't have any big gap years. They didn't have any bad gap years.
Yeah,
gap years, I mean bad. Like not like
I think they made the playoffs like 20 straight years.
Yeah.
And then got
but they weren't winning the ships like that.
You don't have to win the championship every year, but you have to.
Well, how many does that core have? Not 3, do they?
5. Well, Tim Duncan has 5.
But he has some with David Robinson though too, right?
Yeah, Tim Duncan has 5. It depends on how you determine the span for the Spurs dynasty because they were on a long run with Popovich.
Jay Will and Max and Kayshawn Johnson said they had a dynasty.
You said they're not or they are?
Yeah, they're not.
He said who's not dynasty?
The Spurs.
Did they say who they believe were a dynasty?
Yeah.
I guess the Bulls.
Yeah, the Bulls.
Celtics. Lakers,
Bulls, Celtics, Lakers, and in football they were saying like obviously Patriots, and they didn't. They said the Steelers weren't, and they said
the Steelers weren't.
The Chiefs.
When?
Well, not we're talking about more recent. Yeah. We can't bring up the 70s. It's just like when Mad Dog going.
Like the Bears and the Packers was it Packers or was it Bears?
The Bears were not a dynasty. They won one.
I wasn't the Packers. No, I wasn't the Packers. It was I think it was the Bears back then.
That's 70s NFC teams.
Yeah.
That is nowhere near my.
Yeah.
Who else was a dynasty back then in football?
It's not. I mean, it's like I said, it's not.
49ers had a dynasty kind of. They had a dynasty going.
I don't know.
So
I think it just depends. It's very subjective. Not everybody's going to
really
define dynasty the same way.
Mm-hmm. All right, what can we say is not like? Or I guess it's hard to say what is.
A dynasty with LeBron.
Ooh,
it was real short. It was real short. But
say that again.
Now that's a good one.
The Heat with LeBron.
Oh, I was gonna ask if the Heat with the big 3 was a dynasty. But
it was real short, but they did win 2, and they were in 3.
I love the big 3. That's when I was a big Heat.
They were in 4.
I was a big Heat fan.
But they were in the finals every year though.
Basketball can be shorter, but that one I think is a toss up for me. Just because
personally, I say
it's so short.
Because it was 4 years, but they did make the finals all 4 years. And
wait, what was the one after the second win? Which finals did they?
They lost they beat the Spurs and then lost to Spurs, and then LeBron went back to Cleveland.
I don't know why I thought he won the last one before he left.
They lost to Dallas and then beat OKC.
I knew that one.
Beat OKC.
Yeah.
And then beat the Spurs and then lost to the Spurs.
I had that backwards. I thought they won, lost one.
Yeah,
I don't know, bro. That's tough if that's a dynasty or not, because like they had so many. Even like think of the players on that team. Like that was an iconic team.
And they almost set the record for like consecutive wins. Like,
like that was
didn't the Warriors set that record?
Yeah, the Warriors.
What was it like
24, 27?
I thought it was like 28
to start the season. I think it was like 28-0 or something crazy.
Yeah. That was,
like video game stats.
Yeah. That's when KD was there going crazy. All
right. Quick hitters.
Good look segment.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. Before we move on, I don't think we answered the question. Are the Chiefs a dynasty?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I didn't hear everybody say no.
I'll ask one more question. What will make them a dynasty for you?
Another ring in the next 2 years, preferably next year.
In the next 2 years,
I know that's a lot to ask.
That'll be 3 and 8.
They need more than 3 for me.
Yeah,
if it's maybe like you said, then maybe next year because it's been 2 and 5.
If they get 2 in the next 3 years.
Yeah,
without a bad year.
So 4 and 8. That's 50% of the time. Yeah.
I was gonna say that if they don't this is my last comment, but like if they don't get one next year, that's a lot. If they don't get one next year, they're gonna need 2 more, and that's because they need the same pieces. They need to have Andy Reid. They need to have Mahomes. They need to have whoever else that offensive line. They need to have consistent pieces throughout these last years in order to call it dynasty.
Yeah, and like Jamie said, if they keep changing, the dynasty really is Andy Reid, Mahomes, and Kelsey.
Yeah,
it's not the whole team.
No, yeah, you're right.
I just don't be liking to say that.
Tyreek Hill left the dynasty. Kelsey. He could have been a part of it, but
he shouldn't have left. He shouldn't have left.
He went for the bag.
He went to get that bag.
I ain't mad at the bag now.
It can't be.
Unless it's Lamar. But
you see what they say he coming, but we ain't gonna get into that.
That's all up to us.
Do it, Jay.
So I got some random would you rather.
Jersey.